Hello and welcome back.
So now we've done Champions League. Now we're moving on to the Europa League places. So who misses out on the Champions League in fifth spot?
They're going to be so gutted, but we're going to say Liverpool in fifth place.
And you know what? I think they're going to have a good season, to be honest.
I do as well. I actually think they could have a great season.
We saw in the first match against Arsenal that this team of foundations, they could potentially build something very special.
Yeah, for sure.
And it pains me to say this, but they've got so much potential.
Yeah.
The reason why they just missed out, in my opinion, on the fourth spot is because they're just a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, that was exactly what we said when we built this. Because I think that we were considering Liverpool above Tottenham, weren't we?
Yeah.
Considering it. We decided in the end that it wasn't great. It wasn't just because of quality and whatnot. But definitely that was huge. Like, inconsistency.
I mean, they're the sort of team that could one week could beat Chelsea, United or City 3-0, and the next minute get absolutely walloped by West Brom at home.
Exactly.
And it's that, and to win the league, you've just got to be, that's the main thing you need to be, is consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Leicester, they were consistent. They didn't win it always pretty, but they're consistent with their 1-0 wins.
Tottenham were pretty consistent. They were very consistent, actually.
So I actually think that Tottenham will win, Liverpool will win a cup competition this season.
Yeah.
Because I think with Jurgen Klopp, he's just such an enthusiastic ball of energy that I think translates more over a short duration of time, like a cup competition, than it does a league.
Yeah.
And I can see sometimes that kind of like that ethos and that kind of charisma he has, it's difficult for it to have longevity in a league campaign.
Yeah. Well, we saw that in the Europa League, didn't we? Where they got to the Europa League final, and they only really lost it because Unai Emery is an absolute fucking tactical genius, really. So.
And they got to was it the League Cup final as well?
Yes.
So they'll do well in the cup competitions. I mean, he did well with Dortmund. They won a lot of cups as well. They got to the Champions League final, didn't they?
They got to lots of finals. They didn't win.
It's just
all
like
of them,
having the end product, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think are the main strengths? Like, why are they fifth? I mean, last season they finished 8th, didn't they?
Yeah.
So why are they leapfrogging two teams?
I'm of the opinion now that really they're very similar to Tottenham. They have very similar strengths to Tottenham in the energy and the pressing and the attacking presence that they have, because they are gonna. I mean, we saw them against Arsenal. Like, they were battering on that defence, trying to burst their way through, and they did 4 times. Like, they are full of energy, and just teams aren't going to be able to handle it. I don't think most teams are going to be able to handle the desire and energy and like just the pressure they're going to put them under.
Just literally throw everything forward.
Yeah.
But then that exposes a lot at the back.
Well, we'll get onto
their weaknesses.
But I mean, it's just Klopp. It's just Klopp and everything he brings to Liverpool.
And that's what he's now doing, is he's stamping his authority onto the club. I mean,
Yes.
last season he inherited a Brendan Rodgers team, and he had his favourites, didn't he?
He did, and they had
Joe Allen and
yeah,
players like that. And now he's kind of whittled it down to the players he thinks he can craft, and because Klopp always wants players that will play for him.
Yes,
because he sold a lot of big names to Bayern Munich, players that he thought, well, if you don't want to be at the club, you can just go. He's not afraid of getting rid of players, is he?
No.
But he'll bring in players that will fight for him. Because Klopp is a fighter.
He is,
and this Liverpool side is a fighting team.
Yes.
I just think they've got something going good. I think they will continue.
You hate the fact that you have to say that, don't you?
No, but I'm honest. I'm absolutely honest. It's exciting. When I was actually working, so I didn't actually get to watch the Arsenal Liverpool match. But watching the highlights, they were attacking their press and they just didn't give up. And they were attacking them until the 90th minute. They just didn't stop.
Yeah. And
they had a poor goalkeeping performance and a poor defensive performance from the team. But up front, they were absolutely frightening.
Yeah.
Firmino as well. Like, we didn't see, he was very inconsistent last season. I mean, if he can play half as well as he did in that match for the remainder of the season, they will really challenge for that top 4.
Yeah, for sure.
And they've been out of the Champions League for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, they had that one season where they obviously had Suarez up front, and he really... Do you remember they nearly won the league?
Yeah, of course.
But in the last 5 to 8 years, they haven't really gone anywhere close.
No.
This is the closest they're going to be.
Yes,
since
for
then.
sure. I mean, Roberto Firmino, for me, I think that under Klopp, he is going to. I mean, I know this is obviously like people say, oh, well, like, oh, he's going to be the new Mario Götze and whatever kind of thing. But like, if you look at the way that Klopp sets up that Liverpool side, it is very similar to how he used to set up Dortmund. And I think that having Firmino in the kind of role that Götze used to play actually will really suit him,
Yeah.
because he's like Götze used to be. I mean, he's not really anymore because Bayern Munich have kind of changed him, but he used to be very physically capable and very technical, and that's what Firmino's about for me. He's about running and just strong passing and crossing and shooting. That for me is what he's about, and that's what I like about him, and that's why I think he's personally going to be a strength for them.
I also think like a lot of people question like the Mane signing because of his attitude.
Yeah, and Wijnaldum as
and
well.
Wijnaldum. But like I just feel like if anyone's to get the best out of these like loose rockets, these loose cannons, it is Klopp.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
Mane is a rough diamond. Like I think he scored 9 league goals last season, 40 odd matches.
But I mean, he scored 4 of them in one game.
Exactly.
So...
Like when Mane is on form, he could beat anyone.
Yeah.
He is as good as they get.
Yeah, exactly.
But when he's got his head down, he's very much like in the moment kind of play. You don't really know what to expect from him, which can be exciting, but he does epitomise Liverpool at the moment.
It would be very frustrating.
He just needs to be polished.
Yeah.
He just needs a manager that can really believe in him, and I think Klopp wouldn't spend all that money on him if he didn't feel that way.
Exactly.
And he was bullish. He was bloody bullish in that match against Arsenal.
Yeah.
He completely shredded their team apart.
Exactly. And I mean, I said this to you when we were making this prediction table. I think personally that if Klopp can get the best out of Mane and Wijnaldum, because Wijnaldum's problem last season was he just didn't want to play for Newcastle.
He just gave up.
He gave up halfway through the season, and that's what really frustrated Newcastle fans.
He had his tale of two halves, wasn't it? He had a fantastic first half of the season.
Yeah.
He was their best player the first half of the season. Second half of the season, he was like a ghost. You couldn't see him.
I mean, if put it this way, if fucking Steve McLaren can get that much out of Wijnaldum in the first half of the season, think what Klopp can do with him. Giving him a real reason to play and giving him a reason to try. I'll tell you what, if Klopp can do with Wijnaldum what I personally think he can do with him, which is get him wanting to play for Liverpool and for the fans and for him as well, he could probably be Liverpool's best player this season. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think for them they also need to keep Coutinho fit as well.
Yes.
Because he missed a few chunks of last season, and he is magic. He's one of those players where you look at if you look at this, if you think of Liverpool and their squad at the moment, you think of their star player, you would say Coutinho.
Yeah.
He's absolute quality. Did you see the free kick he scored? Absolutely incredible.
Sublime, wasn't it?
And he's that one player that has that magic that gets you on the edge of your seat. Is excitable.
Exactly.
And Liverpool haven't had that since Suarez, in my opinion. Like I do feel they've had like Sterling and Sturridge, but even then it's a bit like I do think Coutinho just has that more grace about him, that assurance, that more like just natural talent.
Yeah, for sure.
And from a Liverpool point of view, if they can keep him fit, they could be challenging for top 4.
Yes.
What's the reason why you didn't put them in top 4?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll put you out of your misery. You can stop gushing over Liverpool now.
I know it's difficult for me to say this, but it's frustrating because I really like Klopp.
Yeah.
I really like Klopp, and I do think he's building something special. Like he's got that. It's always difficult for a manager to adopt someone else's team and to then to stamp your authority into it. So last season, they finished 8th, and Klopp his league performances weren't that much different to Brendan Rodgers.
No.
But he adopted them when they were like 9th and they finished 8th. I mean, it wasn't like there was a massive change in their league. In the cups, yes. So I think this is like a new breath of fresh air for them this season.
Yeah.
And I hate that word, like gushing over Liverpool, because I'm never going to gush over Liverpool. Klopp, yes.
Okay. All right. Weaknesses. Do you want me to start, or do you want to go for it?
I think just defensively inept, really. Moreno, like, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Yeah. In the Europa League final?
Yeah, not just that, but like even against Arsenal, he was just awful.
Did all the goals come from his side? Because I was travelling.
Yeah,
I was travelling
I
at
think
the time, so I didn't see it.
2 of them did, yes. And he just seemed a bit. His positioning is one of the worst I've ever seen from that left back position.
Right.
And he seems to be almost too scared to go forward as well. And when he does go forward, he always gets caught.
I thought,
break.
you know what, when I was looking at Liverpool's side, I did look at Moreno, and I was a bit sort of like, oh, do you know what, if I was Klopp, I would have signed a left back.
My Liverpool mate just texted me going, he was like, oh, really, obviously really excited about the result. And I was like, well, your defence is questionable. And he goes, Moreno is shit. That's all he said. That's all he said to me. He said, like, I don't think there's a problem with the defence. It's just that one that's the left side that is like exposed. Yeah. And also, I think like Liverpool kind of like they went 4-1 up. They probably came a bit complacent. I mean,
yeah.
And Arsenal just got back into it. I mean, I think Arsenal scored 2 goals in 2 minutes or something like that.
Yes.
But the scoreline didn't reflect the match. Like
No.
Liverpool were well and truly dominated from the second half onwards. As soon as they got the goal, they were just a different team.
Yes.
And it's that energy.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, they have made one defensive signing. They signed a centre. Oh, how have I forgotten his name? Because I remember as soon as I saw Liverpool signed him on a free transfer from Schalke, I was like, oh my god, I know who that is, and he's quite good. He's Cameroonian, I think. I can't remember his name. That's gonna really frustrate me. We're gonna look after we finish recording this, and I'll be like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But I think that, to be honest, the left back position for them is a problem, because what you also have as well is you have fairly inexperienced centre backs as well. I think,
especially now Skirtle's left.
Yeah, now Skirtle's left, so you don't have the experienced head in there really from the Premier League anyway.
See, I think Liverpool are almost going to be kind of like Tottenham were 2 years ago, where this is going to start building the foundations of a young, youthful side.
Yeah.
And we won't really see the performances and what the work Klopp's doing until 2 years down the line.
Yeah, that's what it... Do you know what? It does feel like that as well, because when Pochettino first came in, he did turn their season around, because I think he joined them Did he join them during January?
Yeah, he did.
He joined them halfway through a season, didn't he?
Yeah. And
he really got them going again. But then the next season, of course, it was just quite steady and whatever.
I think he's going to revitalise them, but I think it's going to be a exciting but difficult season for Liverpool fans.
You know what? That's perfect description for this season.
It's going to be. They're going to pull their hair out. Like I said, there's going to be like very disorientated results, and like there's not going to be. Let's just go. There's not going to be very, very many 0-0 draws.
I'll throw this out there. I reckon that Liverpool at least one game this season are going to be beaten by 4 goals by someone like Hull City or someone.
And I think they're going to pull out a few shocks and probably beat.
Yeah, and they'll pull out a few shocks and like. I think, to be honest, they have a good shot at the Europa League this year. To be honest,
it wouldn't surprise me. Like, and I think from a neutral point of view, if you would like to get a season ticket, like Liverpool would be quite exciting. I hate saying this, but it'd be quite exciting. It'd be quite exciting from a neutral point of view to watch them play.
Yeah.
Let's just hope for Liverpool's sake that they don't get a few results. I think if they get a few bad results in a row, and you have got the likes of Mane and like a few like loose cannons in the team, like Firmino as well. Like he's one of those players that does get his head down if things don't go his way. Yeah, he doesn't pull off tricks and skills he wants to. I just feel like they could go down that kind of like dark path.
Yeah. Oh god, the voice crack. Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking about the fans, I think that almost the group of what group of Liverpool fans I'm talking about, they're going to be a problem. You know, the ones that
expect too much.
The ones that expect too much. I mean,
we're going to win the league.
We're going to win the league. This is a transitional period for Liverpool.
It's like when they beat Barcelona friendly, all on my Twitter timeline was, yeah, we're the greatest team now. We've beaten Barcelona. We're going to win it.
I mean, and the sad thing is that I wish it was joking,
But it's serious.
but
isn't
it's
it?
actually serious, which is an issue, and that's going to be a problem because if this isn't treated as a transitional period, it's going to be so much harder for Jurgen Klopp.
It's like using Tottenham as an example. Then their fans are extremely patient. Liverpool fans have got to be extremely patient. Yes, you've got Klopp. You've got one of the best managers and the best charismatic manager in the world.
But I mean, it took him years to build Dortmund to what they were. It took him ages.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and
Neither was Dortmund. Neither was Tottenham.
and Liverpool won't be either.
Yeah,
so
Liverpool are no different. So.
You're heading in the right direction.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, do you know what? This is why I really want their fans to have faith in Klopp and the players. Is because, like, if this is destroyed because of stupid fan expectations, that will be so sad. That would be so sad.
Yeah.
Because like, this has the potential to be something huge, and something good for English football as well.
Yeah.
The resurgence of one of the best teams of that English football has ever had. You know, like, it'd be sad if it were all destroyed because of a couple of people wanted a bit of instant gratification.
It'd be interesting, like, if anyone is watching this and you're a Liverpool fan, just comment whether or not you'd be happy with fifth.
Yeah, please.
Like, if you were, would you be?
Please
happy
let
with,
us know.
I'm sure you'd be happy with fifth in a cup. What good cup run or cup win?
I would really hope so. Like, okay, let's set a benchmark. Let's like set it like kind of low. Let's say fifth and the Capital One Cup. So
I think as a Liverpool fan, you'd be happy with that, especially as last
do
season.
you know what? If I were a Liverpool fan, I'd be very happy with that. Because bearing in mind, this is a transitional time. So to even get anything at all would be fantastic. Really. I mean, I think so anyway. Weaknesses again.
Defense, but like,
Well, we said defense,
well,
but
just the goalkeeper.
oh yeah, the
ultimately.
goalkeeper
Because
situation.
like, they signed a new keeper,
They signed, but he's injured.
but he's injured, and then you're thinking the defense don't trust the keeper, and
Yeah,
Klopp doesn't. So, and you see some of the goalkeeping mistakes the other day.
really.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
Jesus. I do you know what, I'm gonna watch it when we're finished
Yeah.
recording. But I think that's true. But I think do you know what? I think the biggest downfall for Liverpool, as I said earlier, could be their biggest strength, is that they've made big signings, but they're very risky. But I mean, Mane and Wijnaldum, I would argue those signings, in terms of how risky they are probably more risky than the Pogba signing. Because even though Pogba is astronomically more money
Yeah,
than both of them individually, what you, at least with Pogba, you know you get like a good attitude. Whereas with those players, you know that there's a little bit of inconsistency and a little bit of attitude problems, which is good because on their day, they're amazing and they will destroy any team put in front of them. But you also then have the opposite side of it, which is that if they then don't get over their attitudes, then they're going to completely flop at Liverpool.
another issue I have with the whole Liverpool thing, the whole Liverpool setup is I can't really identify like a main striker they've got. They've got so many strikers.
I said this.
But there's no, like, with Arsenal you've got
Giroud.
With Manchester United you've also got Ibra and Martial. With Chelsea you've got Costa. You all know where you stand. City, Aguero. But with Liverpool, you've got Sturridge, who's injured a lot.
Origi,
who
on and off.
on and off as well. Again, very hot and cold.
Ings, who hasn't really played.
Ings, who's had his injury issues as well.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, I'm not being funny. I personally think, I mean, I'm trying to not look too far ahead because obviously we haven't seen what's happened this season yet. I mean, Daniel Sturridge could go on an absolutely insane goal scoring run, but I personally think that next season Jurgen Klopp will probably go out and buy a striker. I think this season he's building kind of around the striker,
Yeah.
and I think next season he will go for a new focal point up front because I don't have faith in Sturridge, Origi or Ings to get. I mean, Sturridge could get you 20, 25 goals in a season, but he just doesn't stay fit. So
And what good is that, really?
Yeah,
If they're gonna
exactly.
stay fit?
It's like you've got a class player who's always injured. So, like, I think that's a big weakness for them. And you know what? That could have a real detrimental effect on how many goals they're going to score. Because obviously you don't have an out-and-out goal scorer.
Exactly. If you've got all this creativity in the midfield with Mane and
Wijnaldum, Coutinho.
and you have no one to stick it in the back of the net,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
could be quite frustrating.
Exactly.
It could almost be like Arsenal, like a few seasons ago. You know, when they
Yeah.
had this amazing build-up play and this amazing attack, and then
they just
no one
scuff it right
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah. Also, again, same thing, same problem that you have with the style of play that they have. They could tire out because obviously Europa League again, so they could tire out because I mean they're probably going to be playing more games this season because I personally think they'll get far in the cup.
Then you could
cup
argue that they did get to
competitions.
the Carling Cup final and Europa League final last season, but
True.
they did give up on the league fairly early.
Yeah, I was going to say
Like they didn't really have
the
that.
league was dead and
It was
gone.
almost as if like they knew they were going to finish mid-table. There's no top four to chase. Whereas this season, like you said, we think they're going to miss out just,
Yeah.
but they're going to be fighting for the top four spot definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean we think they're capable of getting a Champions League place.
This way, Liverpool, in my opinion, could finish anywhere from third to sixth.
Yeah, true. I mean, as long as everything goes fairly. I mean, it's hard because like it has the potential to be completely catastrophic, but I don't think that will happen.
No.
I personally don't think it will happen. Especially after what you've been saying about how they played against Arsenal, especially.
Yeah, I don't think it was a fair reflection on the score. I think it should have been. It seemed a lot closer than the match actually was.
Really?
Arsenal were abysmal. Yeah.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I think we'll leave it. Oh no, should we talk a bit more about Klopp?
Yeah.
Just
And the players to watch as well.
And the play. Okay, Klopp first. I think this season Klopp's going to be a lot better for Liverpool just purely because now he has said and admitted with full confidence that he has no more excuses. This is his. It's not maybe his full squad now.
But he's got more of a. More of a hold on the squad. This squad is more of his.
It's more of his than not.
Yeah.
So he's got no excuses. So he's got a lot more to prove. And I mean, I'm not even being funny. He didn't even do badly with Liverpool last year, considering what he went into. I mean, do you remember Liverpool before Klopp came in? They were fucking shit. Like just like use of a word.
Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, Brendan
2
Rodgers.
words.
Yeah, they were fucking shit. And like he went in there, and they were like not great, but like you wouldn't look forward to playing them.
No. I don't think anyone's going to look forward to playing Liverpool this season.
Oh, this season, no one's going to look
You're
forward
just
to
not
playing
going to know what
Liverpool.
Liverpool's going to turn up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be the Liverpool that beat Barcelona 4-0 in pre-season, the one that lost 4-0 in the next match. Like,
Exactly. I mean, you're always going to have problems with managers that have players up for games.
Yeah, no team's going to want. People like to, when you play a team, you like to know what you're getting. Whether or not it's difficult or whether or not it's hard. When it's so much like a gamble, like it is with Liverpool, you don't know what Liverpool you're going to play. And I think from a Manchester United point of view, the derby is going to be so much more exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be like Man United have improved, Liverpool have improved, and they're going to be so much more up for this with Klopp.
I think this is going to be a really interesting Premier League season. Because you know how in the past we've kind of looked at the Premier League and just like, oh yeah, there's a clear winner. Or there's a clear top 4 or whatever. It's really not
It's
this year.
top 7 now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely blurred.
Because when we were growing up, it was always Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Arsenal. For
Yeah.
about 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this year, I think we were saying this. We were saying that any team that we put in the top 10, we could see finishing anywhere from they could all interchange, and we wouldn't be like completely shocked, if that makes sense. Or maybe the top 8. Maybe the top 8.
And that's why the Premier League is the best league in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not exactly the best quality, but
Most exciting.
most exciting. So who's your player to watch?
My player to watch is. Do you know what's really upsetting? Is that I cannot remember the name of the player because I literally just remembered him when I was talking about it, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, no, I really like him. He's a really good player, and I can't remember his fucking name. It's because
isn't that much instrumental, then, is it?
I'm really trying to remember his name because I don't have my phone on me here or anything, so I can't look it
Mine's
up.
definitely Mane. I think he could get 15 goals this season.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
10 assists. He's just brilliant. And I think the way that Liverpool set up, and Klopp gave him so much like trust in him. Like he was very much like let to go free in that match against Arsenal and do what he wants to do.
Joel Matip. That's his name. Joel Matip. That's his name. Sorry, carry on.
But for me, it's going to be Mane.
To be honest, Mane and Wijnaldum, I was saying to you earlier, they could be probably Liverpool's best players. The only reason why I haven't said them as my ones to watch is that they could really go one way or the other.
Yeah.
But Joel Matip, I have seen play for Schalke because I really like Schalke as a club, and he basically he's a slightly more rough version of Eric Bailly, in my opinion, because he's strong, gets the ball out. But the one difference between them two is I don't think Eric Bailly is as good as playing the ball as Joel Matip is.
Really?
Yeah, he's a real ball player. Do you know what he is in that team? He is the Mats Hummels of that team. Because you know you had Hummels and Subotic.
Yeah.
Where you had Subotic as like the big guy to just fucking get it out, whereas Hummels was more of a kind of ball playing defender.
Okay.
Joel Matip is a lot more like that. So I've seen him play, and he is impressive for his age. Because he's not very old. I think he's 23 or 24. So he's my one to watch, certainly, Joel Matip. Oh.
That's another one rounded up.
Yeah.
So we have our top 5 now. So just to remind everyone, we put Chelsea as first,
Manchester United,
second,
City,
then
Tottenham, and then Liverpool. So, on to 6th place next.
Which should be a really interesting
This
one.
should be
I'm
very
excited.
interesting. Alrighty. Leave a like and leave us your comments about what you think Liverpool could do this season, because they're certainly an interesting team this year with everything that's going on there. Subscribe for more. We'll be back with 6th place next.
Awesome.
Yeah. We will see you next time, and we hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening.
Cheers.
See you later. Bye bye.